Hi, welcome to Reasoning with Rima. On this show, we deal with everything that's inspirational, motivational, and often emotional. Today, we're going to be talking about how to truly trust God. Not just to say it in times of desperate occasions, but how to truly walk and rest in God. Now, I study the Bible not as a history book, but from a metaphysical perspective. That means I look at the root meaning behind what the ancient ones was trying to tell us about the stories, events, and characters of the Bible, and what they were really trying to tell us about who God is. So I want to share with you what I learned at that level and how I really came to truly and absolutely trust God. I often hear people say that you should trust in God, but surely to trust God, you have to know God. But how well do we really know God? If you read the scriptures, He tells you repeatedly from Genesis to Revelations that you are God. Jesus, who is a symbolic reference of how God works, tries to explain that the power of God is in you. Every time someone came for healing, he said, "Not I, but your faith healed you." He never once claimed that he healed anyone. He never once claimed that God healed anyone. He says on all occasions, your faith, the faith that is in you, is what creates your healing. It is the same faith that showers you with blessings and success, not his faith, not God's faith, and not Jesus's faith, your faith. They tell you all the time. So it's not God's power zapping down on you, but it is your faith that enables things to happen. It was also said by Jesus, "Why do you call me God when you are God? There is nothing that I do for you that your godly power that is within you cannot do for itself." In all religions, no teacher asks you to worship or sacrifice a God outside of yourself. All spiritual and religious practices testify that God is in you, and any work you have to do begins inside of you. They tell you to know thyself. And we know that God resides in us because we claim God as our God, my God. And it is totally different to your God, just as I am different to you. There is 7 billion people who are walking on this planet with their own personal gods. So if we are to trust God, we only really have to trust ourselves. But what we do prefer is the idea of a man sitting in the sky who we can beg for favors, gifts, money, a car, a husband, love. Someone outside of us who, when we do something wrong, we hide from, like Adam and Eve, in shame. And then when we realize that there's still no action from God, what we do is start to seek forgiveness from God. Yet he hasn't reacted to our wrong and he hasn't reacted to our right. Because we go back to committing the same mistakes. Because the God outside of us never shows up. He never smites us. He never corrects us or sends thunder and lightning down on us. And in truth, sometimes it seems like he doesn't even care. Because, we see good people not getting what they pray for, and listen to this, and bad people getting what they didn't pray for. God outside, sitting in heaven, never shows up on any occasion. But inside of us is where all the activity is. Because when things are not working out, it is your voice inside of you that tells yourself you have to do better. No heavenly voice is speaking here. You have to command your tired body to get out of bed, to look after the children, go to work, and so on. You are the one that tell yourself every day and all day what to do that is best for yourself and hopefully for the benefit of others. God's voice is the same voice that is in your own head that is always telling you to relax, to trust me. We've got this. Together we have got this. It is your inner voice that lifts you up when you are down. It's the same voice that speaks to you before you go to sleep at night and remind you that you need to rest well because tomorrow is going to be a better day. So to trust God, you first have to completely trust the voice in your head. When that voice says something that you don't like or you disagree with, then you can know that it is society's voice that is distracting you from the voice of God that speaks to you all the time. So the first step to trusting God is to learn to trust the voice inside of your own head. Even though you have many voices from parents who might be disagreeing with your choices in life, from people who find shady ways to tell you that you're not good enough, that you'll never make it, things can't get much better for you. We have the voices from the media, from spiritual leaders, political leaders, and the most aggressive voices, advertisers. And they are all competing to be the dominant voice in our head over our own godly voice. But if these voices echo sounds that you don't like, switch them off and disassociate with them. Because the only voice that you want to hear is a voice that encourages you, inspires you, and tells you that no matter what, you are going to win. You only want the voice that is always reminding you of your better self. That is the voice you can trust. When you only respond to that voice and no other, you would have found the God that you can trust. Okay, so I hope that message has been a little bit helpful for you. Please share our message and also feel free to comment, especially on your relationship and trust in God.